Okay guys, I'm excited today because I'm experimenting with a Cuomo tablet. This is a big drawing surface. Let's see if I can give you a shot of that. It's like a 19-inch writing tablet, so I can use a pen on here. And I'm using Yawcam as a form of feeding the video to the screen, which then in turn is captured by the screen. And then I'm also using Cuomo's drawing software so that I can do stuff like this. I'll make a new slide so you can see that. So I could have a whiteboard page, blah blah blah. And let's see, what else am I using? And I'm using Screencast-O-Matic to do this recording. So the idea here is to demonstrate how relatively easy it is to get a full lecture capture solution for almost no money. I'm actually using Screencast-O-Matic Pro, and Screencast-O-Matic Pro is about $15 a year. It takes away the little watermark and gives you a couple other little tools that are useful. Goes past the 15-minute limit, although you probably shouldn't do recordings of more than 15 minutes. But I wanted to illustrate, and let me go back to my notepad now. I want you to think about how a lecture capture is made up of a couple things. So let's think about a normal lecture, if you will. So here's me at the podium, right? And here's the podium, and here's me in the lecture hall. And out here you have all these people, because of course they want to hear me yap, right? Well, the truth is they don't want to hear me yap, but they got to come to my class because they're worried that they'll lose points. So this is me talking, right? Ooh, something happened there. This is me talking. And then meanwhile, over here behind me is this screen, right? And that screen has got, different stuff on it. And then maybe over here I've got a desk, and on the desk is some little piece of equipment that I'm showing people, right? And what else? And then every now and then, some eager student comes up and maybe they have a question and we want to hear that. So how can we summarize this into, what you want to get out of a lecture? So you want the teacher. So do you want a picture of the teacher? That's really kind of an open-ended question. You certainly want the audio of the teacher, so we do want that. We want to show what the teacher's got on his or her screen, which, by the way, is the same as what you have on the big screen. And that could be PowerPoint. Note my points, right? That could be PowerPoint. It could also be, a web browser. Note my clever little web browser icon. And anything else you can put on the screen. And then you might have some, kind of object. So you're teaching medicine and you want to have that device that people squeeze to measure the pressure of their hand grip or what have you. So what else could you want to capture? Well, what about a whiteboard? And most teachers, they have a board, and they're going to get up there and they're going to draw away, scribble, 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 and then the students are seeing that. How do we capture that? And I would venture to say that also, so we do want to capture somebody's ability to scribble stuff. So how can we summarize this? We can summarize this as audio of the lecture, video of presenter, capture of screen, digital, actually let's rethink that, writing surface, which is this, and then real objects. And those real objects could include actually a writing surface. So what can we do with this? Well, let's see if I can use my highly sophisticated drawing abilities to copy that. And this to a new slide and paste. Yeah, you gotta love that, right? And where's my other tools be at? I'll delete that nonsense. So I will say that for Cuomo, the software needs some help. If any of you Cuomo people are out there, help the software. I wouldn't mind getting a chance to play around with the smartboard software, but you only get that, I guess, if you get a smartboard. Otherwise, it's fairly spendy to have out of the blue. So I don't even know where the eraser tool is on here. It should be pretty obvious, but I don't see it. So we've got these things. Well, what else can we add? Let's add, we've got real object writing surface. Let's talk about digitized writing surface. So if we can get the whiteboard to be a smartboard where it captures what's on the board, or better yet, use a screen like this to become the writing surface, that's an option. Or we can have the writing surface, and I want to say taped, but we don't really use taped, so I'm going to say videoed, which is actually not appropriate terminology. But what I'd like to do is illustrate to you what I mean by that. So I'm going to slide this thing out of the way. We're going to switch over to our video, and this is where Alt-Tab comes in handy. So here I have a standard sheet of paper, and I want you to picture for a moment that this is on a nice tripod, and I've got it, and I'm capturing what's here. Now, in this case, you say, well, that's silly, it's upside down. Well, it's upside down because of the way I happen to be holding the camera, right? But these are all things that can be tweaked, basically by clever use of a tripod. So picture, if you will, I had this on a tripod, and then I get it positioned so that it's, you know, kind of square on the surface, and I can even go into some of the drawing app. I can go into the settings for the camera, and somewhere in here is a setting that will allow me to actually image, connection, language, text, and I can actually put an overlay in the Cam if I want, which I don't, but that might come in handy later. And hide now, console tab, file. Well, somewhere in here is an option to flip it around. I don't know where it is exactly. And while I'm recording, I don't want to waste a lot of time. But it's here. So that would mean that this thing I'm drawing, or, you know, for the sake of this simple illustration, I can turn the camera around this way. Switch, of course, from my digital pen to some other kind of pen. Notice that it focuses, and I can say, okay, here we are. Now I feel really stupid because I turned it upside down and it was really right side up in the first place. So you get the idea. I can use a wall volume hand, you know, la, di, da. Here's a line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So basically anything that I can do in the real world, I can tape here. In fact, earlier we were talking about iPads. So you want to demonstrate some physical object, and this is an iPad 1, the first one. So I could, of course, demonstrate what I'm doing on the screen, like so. Say, oh, look, you can do this and this. So it took me a long time to learn that you could actually quit applications by doing this double-click action here. And then we hold them and we close and close and close and close. Lots of closing to do here. I don't know how they manage memory on this nonsense. Also, the fact that I'm holding the camera makes me wonder how the audio is working out. But hey, what can you do? There we go. But really, I'm more interested in showing you my iPad case because I was very proud of this. Found it on Amazon for like 20 bucks. So it's like, I think it's fake leather, but certainly is close enough that I can barely tell the difference. And I like leather. Someone in the comments said he was a saddle maker and he was happy with it. So if a saddle maker's happy with the fake leather, then so am I. And goes like that. And then it's got your standard, it's got these little nubs here, which allow you to do things like, you know, hold it up at a certain angle so you can watch it that way. So there's one there, one there, one there, and then those also, I think, help protect the surface. So you can hold it like that, or you can hold it like that, and then of course you can shut it and snap it, or if you really want, you can put the strap around the other way, but I don't want to stretch out the strap, so I leave that alone. So that's my iPad case, but hopefully illustrates to you how, if you had a medical device or a piece of equipment, you know, like say we're running a networking class, well, this is an Ethernet cable, standard Ethernet cable. It's probably Cat5, and you can see the RJ45 connector here, and you can count the little things. Now, if this were a proper lab, you'd have one of these at home, and you'd have the crimping tools, so you'd be able to count them yourself. The fact that I'm holding this by hand means my ability to focus is limited, but if I give it the chance, it'll usually focus all right. So, and this is standard cable you might use to connect to the network. So you can see pieces of equipment. Another example is this marker. Let me zoom right in. It's a dry erase. What you tend to have focus issues when the surface is glossy, because whatever does the focus has a little bit of trouble figuring it out. Still, that's not bad. And we go in to show that I'm eco-sensitive with my pad. Not only is it recycled, but it's also made in the USA. And you can even see some of the texture here. And we could look at the seams of my iPad cover. Look at the stitching here. It's a little confused there because it's getting confused with the piece of paper under it. How about we try looking at the snap enclosure stuff? Right, so that's not bad. You get pretty good quality there. You can actually see my hand and me in the reflection of the button. And just to put it in perspective, look how small that snap is. So there we have a demonstration of what you can do just with a camera, feeding right to a capture software, and show not only me, but show a writing surface, but showing a device or directions or anything like that. So pretty much anything that you could show. And the cool thing about this is you can't see it here, but if you look at the classroom I'm in, that's the big screen on the wall. So everyone in the audience, if we had a room full of people, which we don't, but if we did, they would all be seeing this. And it's much clearer to show some small object on that big screen than to hold it up to the class and say, hey, look at what I have in my hand. By the way, I periodically put my hand up here just to kind of kick the focus in the pants so that it kind of realigns itself. So now I get back to this surface, and this camera is actually kind of snazzy. How can I show you a picture of the camera? I can't take a picture of itself because well, anyway, I need a mirror. But it's the Logitech Orbit. It's the fancy one that zooms around and this and that. So I can actually adjust it. I've got these controls here. I can do things like, you know, steer it up and down and left and right. And normally you'd reach over and do that manually, but this has a little robotic control in it. I'm actually not a huge Logitech fan. I like the Microsoft cameras, but this one is pretty neat. And it seems to do an okay job. Not quite as good as the Microsoft for the focus, but still not bad. So let's see. Let's kind of regroup and see what we've covered. I'm going to go back to. Let me move this out of the way. Let me go back to our list and see what we find. And the list has on it audio, which you hear. So clearly we're capturing audio. You got the video of the presenter. You saw me. You can picture me in my hat. You don't need to see me the whole time, but it certainly, I hope, makes it real. And you're certainly seeing things going on the screen on a regular basis. I'm in software, but you can imagine if you're just wanting to demonstrate some bit of code, I could open up, let's say, a notepad. Come on, notepad. I can open up notepad, and I want to show you how to do an HTML page. And I can put, okay, bracket, HTML. I'm actually using the, and then I have a mistake because, hey, I didn't do the brackets, so let's see if it'll do my bracket again, HTML, and we'll do body, close the brackets, insert that. So what you can't see here is I'm actually using a writing thing, so I'll try that again, body, and clearly Microsoft's not focusing on people typing HTML, but you see how it changed there. So you don't need to do this. You could just use a regular keyboard, which is probably how I do it. I'm really fast on the keyboard, so I would put, get over here and do HTML, head, title, la la la, close my title, close my head, got my body, and so on. But you can see how you demonstrate that. You could also demonstrate how to do something in Word. Now it's a little distracting to have this page here with me kind of bouncing around in the background. So what I tend to do is go big screen, or actually move this other stuff out of the way off the recording so you don't see it. If I go just past the tip of it, then I can toggle between. And the easy way to toggle is just hit Alt-Tab. So 1 minute you have the code, and then you go to me, hi, here I am. You go back to your code. Then you might even jump over to your drawing surface. Like say you're in the code, or you're looking at your files here, and then we switch back to our notes. We say let's get a new note, and I've got lots of let's see, it's reading gestures in ways that I don't want. Let's do this. So back to my list. I think that's I've got the digitized video, I've got the capture the screen, I've got the writing surface, and I've got real objects. So as wordy as I am here, I'm getting up on 20 minutes. This seems like the full caboodle, the full kit. So now the question is, can I summarize the 20 minutes in more like 3 for a more jazzy video? So let's give it a whirl. I think that's pretty cool. I'd be eager to hear your feedback. I'm going to go back to the video so I can say goodbye. So here we are. Goodbye, guys. Thank you.